Hello, hello, my beautiful sacred masculines, and anybody else who stumbles across this video. Welcome. I'm so grateful that you're here again. This is another sensual tarot and oracle reading for this week, and I have some exciting news, exciting developments coming along. I've had this channel private since I started it, and because my guides have directed me to keep it unlisted, so I've been doing that, and checking in periodically. Is it time to go public? Is it time to go public? Wondering maybe it never was going to be time to be public. So but today during my my little yoga routine, it was just, this is when kind of messages can come through when we're quiet in our body, and they can come through at any time, but tends to come through for me during that time. So it was just like, I think it's time to go public, to switch my videos over to public. So I checked in with my guides, and they said yes, it's a go. And I was just like, wow, awesome. So I'm kind of excited. This will probably be the first video that gets published as a public video. So new people may be finding their way to us here, and that's so exciting. Us meaning me and the other people that I know that are watching this. So so I'm very excited about that. It's and maybe who knows, that's why we work with the timing, and divine timing is everything. So when we're pushing and forcing, and we have our own agenda, and we're not listening to the messages and connecting with I don't know who you connect with. Is your higher self, God, source, the Buddha, Christ consciousness, angels if you have them, spirit guides and helpers, animals, spirit animals. Who do you connect with for guidance and messages that are coming through, and to support you in your process, because part of the thing that we're starting to open up a lot more to is messages from other sources, instead of just being so much in our own, like, I know everything and I'm just gonna go. It's just like, no, like listening to divine timing, listening to messages from your body, listening to messages that are coming from really everywhere. When we get still within ourselves and we start connecting with all of our environment, we start recognizing like everything is communicating to us. When we can calm down and just listen and be more present, there are so many messages we're getting through the day. We tend to just kind of bulldoze on through them and not listen, and it's just like, and then eventually it comes back around, and it comes back around, and it comes back around until it's time to listen. Our body is an excellent example of this. We get those little inklings like, hey, maybe that food isn't the most healthy thing for me, and we're just like, yeah, I'm not going to listen to that, and we keep pushing through it. And if we keep eating that same food that isn't healthy for us, eventually something's gonna happen, either we're just gonna gain a lot of weight and be very uncomfortable, or it's gonna possibly lead to disease, and that happens a lot. So really part of what we're doing here is learning to listen more to our bodies, learning to listen to more of that, the feminine aspect, and bring in a harmony and a balance between the mind and body, and bring this cohesive wholeness into the whole. Integrate all of it, integrate our mind into our body, and our body into our mind, so they are connecting together. The feminine and masculine are working together, instead of just really very mind-based, logical, just like, yeah, this is what I want, or just ego. There's a lot of ego there too, and we're not listening to the universe, because I wanted this channel to be public. I want to be connecting with more people. That's my passion. I really want to be sharing things and connecting and learning what's turning you on. And that's the beauty and the joy for me, that collaboration and that sharing, and that and spiritual discussion and union. And it's just like, that's what really speaks to me. So when my guides told me to keep this private, I was just like, okay. I'll trust. I'll trust. And that's what we do. We keep trusting, and we trust those messages when we come in, because there's higher things at play here. There's a bigger picture that we just, in our human capacity, we can't see all of it. We don't know what's coming down the pipeline, or whatever that saying is. We don't know what's on the way. We don't know what needs to still transpire and ripen for the time to be right to do that thing, whatever that thing is. So could you hold on one moment? I need to turn my heat down. It's really warm in here. Okay, thank you. So, back to where were we? Divine timing and listening. So that's a lot about what we're doing here, is learning how to get more still and present within ourselves. And that's a really big piece of sacred sexuality, and connecting with a partner is coming down into that stillness and just opening more. How do we, when we listen to our partner, not just words, I'm saying like listening to the energy, feeling the body. What is, when you are deeply present and still, and I don't mean still like not moving. I mean a stillness inside that isn't just like moving you all over the place, and the mind is all over, and energy is all erratic. There's a stillness inside that we move from, and this comes from a lot of practice and consciousness, and bringing ourselves back into this still point. Constantly kind of bringing it back. So, and when we enter into sacred union with a partner from that place, there's so much communication going on. Our bodies are communicating to each other just so much. And when we are in that still place, and we can hear and listen and feel that, and just like, it drastically changes our experience. We know how our partner's energy is moving, and we know how to move with it. We're able to hear that. We know when something feels really good to somebody. We know when something doesn't. We can sense when there's tension or pressure, or pressure meaning like the mind, tension, and we can sense when it's like being received, what we're doing, and our energy is being received. But we can really feel that when we're in that still place. So this is a huge part of sacred sexuality, is learning to communicate on so many different levels, and being open and receptive to what's being shared and said, and communicated through the body, and through the energy, and through the heart space. So much is coming through from the heart space, when we're open to it, and we are in that still space, in our center, in our heart, in our core, not moving from the mind so much, not moving from the fear body, not moving from stress and tension, anxiety, and fear of performance issues. And it's a drastically different situation. So that's such a huge key piece, and that's been really so much of my journey, is learning to get out of my own way, get out of the driver's seat, let the universe lead, let my guides lead. That's why they're guides. I listen to them. These particular ones, I have a group of, when I started recently kind of revamping some things, and like getting this YouTube channel going, and the Instagram, and just really kind of coming out of the closet a bit more with myself, and wanting to connect with people on a much bigger level. I connected with some angels. There's angels out there that are in that like frequencies, angelic frequencies that we can connect with, that support us in so many different areas of life. And these particular ones are like marketing, and writing, and business, and promotion, because I love talking and sharing with you, and I can do this part all day long, but marketing and promotion, like, I don't know, that's just not necessarily my forte, and where my passion lies. I want to be doing this part and connecting with you and sharing energy with you. So I called in some support, a support team, like, I need some support and help here. And so they've been guiding me in when to make moves, and where to put my energy, where to direct. Like, is this going to be helpful and beneficial? No, it's not. Is this a good place to advertise? No, it's not. Is this a good place to share myself? Yes, this is, and it's really, this is amazing. And this is why we connect with different guides, and we call on these different allies that are here in our world, in our universe, in our cosmos to support us in our process. We have so much help and support. It is crazy when we open to it. And if this is new to you or sounds crazy to you, I totally get it, you know. And for me previously, that word angel was very associated with Christianity, and so I had to get through that, because it's not just a Christian thing. It's not. They're not non-denominational. They're just frequencies and energies here to support us that we can call on anytime. And if that sounds crazy and you're feeling open to it, try it, you know. Look up different angels. Archangel Michael is a very powerful angel, and especially powerful for the sacred masculine. So that's where you could start, because he's just so here to help us, and very powerful energy, just amazing. So just really, it's easy. You can just sit and just say, you know, Archangel Michael, I call on you for help and support. Please help me know you are here. Please guide me. Whatever speaks to you. I don't know. There's so many different ways. I don't want to tell you how to do it, but, you know, just ask. You can even just ask, how can I best connect with you? That's a great start right there. And then listen to what comes through, or what it feels like, you know, where you feel called and guided. And again, if this is new for you, it takes practice, and it takes like listening to ourselves, allowing new energies and frequencies, new experiences, and being willing to open up to new things, open up to things we can't see. And that's part of the moving out of the hyper masculine experience we've been in, which is very logical, it's very analytical, it needs facts, it needs numbers, it needs proof. This world, this is more the feminine, where we're trying to bring that into balance. And this is about intuition and trusting and just open to receiving. That receptivity is a real big key piece of the feminine energy, which again is where we've been kind of bulldozing. We just go and put it out there, and we don't open to receive the guidance and the wisdom that's coming through. We're very like, I'm going to do this because that's what we've been taught. The early bird gets the worm. Achieve, do. We're not taught to sit back, be still, and listen for guidance. So it's a practice, but beautiful things when we start listening and allowing both aspects of ourselves to work together, the doing and the listening, the doing and the receiving, the giving and the receiving. You know, that's a balance that really skyrockets our experience and drastically changes everything. So I'm all about that. A lot of what I share is about that, bringing us into balance, because we've just gotten very imbalanced, and we're feeling it. It doesn't feel good, and we're seeing it in our world. It's not a pleasant way to be. So let's bring it back to balance. So that being said, I think that's a great way. Like, how can we support coming into more balance and listening more to the beautiful energies of the universe? And that's beautiful. And open to guidance, and open to divine timing, and trusting and faith and confidence more in our path, and recognizing where maybe it's time to stop and quit forcing. You know, where have you been forcing something? And oh, this was just coming through in sexuality, in our sacred sexuality. Where can we be forcing things, forcing an outcome? This is key. A lot of times we're really into forcing that outcome. We're not listening to our bodies. We want that orgasm. We want that ejaculation. We want that experience, that peak experience. And so we'll force it. Even when our body's not doing it, we'll just keep like, I'm going to get you there. I'm going to get you to that point that I'm attached to, you know, very attached to outcomes. So, and the mind is just like, and then it can get like really locked into fantasy. What's the fantasy that gets me there the quickest? What's my go-to? What always pushes me over the edge? Then we're in our head. We're not in our body. We're just like, and we're very attached to an outcome. What happens when we open up the energy, listen, feel? What does our body feel like doing right now? And maybe it's not about that end point, you know, maybe it's just more about receiving or feeling, or like coming down into it. What are the sensations on my skin right now? What does my energy feel called to do? You know, and it can be very different than the agenda that we have in store, you know, and then maybe it has nothing to do with some sort of outcome. Maybe it's just coming down into the moment and being present with yourself or your partner if you have one, and just feeling, just experiencing, you know. That is a huge key piece to sacred sexuality, letting go of agenda, coming into the moment. Excuse me. Another very important key piece about not forcing the outcome or the issue is when we're trying to force our crap onto our partner. We want them to have an orgasm. We want them to behave in a certain way. We want them to respond in a certain way. And I'm going to get you there. And if you don't get there, something's wrong, you know, or something's wrong with what I was doing. That's such a common experience, right? We can really get trapped in there. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you feeling this? What am I doing wrong? Why aren't you enjoying this? What can I do better? How can I switch this to get you to that place? It's very outcome attached. It's very outcome attached. And instead of just being in the moment, feeling the energies, feeling the sensations, feeling the body. Wow. You know, when we come down into the moment and just be present with what's happening, with the beautiful connection, and just open up, let go of that endpoint, be right here. All the beauty is happening right here. It's not over there. It's all right here. It's amazing how much we can want to be in union with another person. And when we get into that position, that situation, that connection, we are at the end of it already, hyper-focused at that end point, instead of being here in the moment that we've really been craving and desiring and longing for. Bring it into the moment. Be there with your partner. Be there with yourself if you're self-pleasuring or just whatever you're doing. You know, be there with yourself. Be there in your energy. Be there in the other person's energy. Feel, listen, receive, open, allow. Let go of outcome. Let go of performance. Let go of technique. Feel into it. Open into it. Play, explore, you know? Don't force. And don't force it upon your partner to have some experience that you want them to have to help you feel like it's successful somehow. You know, I know a lot of men will just get really bummed out if their partner hasn't had an orgasm, and then there's so much pressure on the partner to have an orgasm. So sometimes they'll just fake it to just, you know, like, there, is everybody happy now? No, actually not. And there's no connection there. It's a mental mind fuck. It is not why we come together. I've said this plenty of times before. If all we wanted was orgasms, we can do that for ourselves all day long. You know, we can self-pleasure. We can do that. And that's not what we're longing for. That's not why we come together with a partner. We come together for that connection and for that deep love and that deep union, that deep appreciation and gratitude and connection, and just like, you know, and to desire and to feel desired, you know, that we can't have any of that when we're like whacked out in our minds about some outcome. So that's a really important piece. So where can you bring it down in that and hold that intention to just be in the moment and explore, and maybe even set the intention to not take it to completion. When you set that intention, then it just opens everything up. Then you're just like, wow, if I'm not focused on that and I'm not even going to go for that, then what happens? Try that. As above, so with below. As within, so without. As we do one thing is how we tend to do everything. So if you're used to forcing, and I say you, I mean we, all of us, we are, right? We want to get, and that's what we've been taught, like do. Achieve, accomplish. If you want this, you have to do this, and this, It's up to you. You make it happen. We're really trying to just come into allying with the universe, partnering with the universe, co-creating with the universe, instead of us trying to run the show so much. So, let's go to the cards and see how the wisdom that wants to come through to support us in this process. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Father Sun. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you to all of the beautiful planets in our solar system that support us so beautifully with your energies. Thank you, angels, archangels, spirit guides and helpers, wisdom beings of the highest love and the highest order, spirit animals, anyone that's supporting us right now, anyone that we call on. We ask for your support and guidance and wisdom to come through, to help us align more fully with our authenticity, with our hearts, with love. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Okay. Woo! These are some slippery cards. There's like a whole bunch of one to come out. There's too many. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you, beautiful cards. All right. Take a moment here to take these in. This is very interesting. First of all, we have the Page of Cups. The pages tend to be a new, fresh energy. They're young, they're just getting started. They've gone through 1 through 10. They've gone through of the suit. They've gone through some lessons. They've got some wisdom, but now they're ready to take that wisdom and kind of embark on a new adventure. So look at this guy. He's just he's got his little cup. The cups are it's the emotions, the suit of emotions, intuition, the sacred feminine energies a lot. So he's got this little cup, and there's a fish poking out of there. That's kind of unusual, right? What's the little fish doing in the cup? It's pretty cute. But this is just kind of, again, that fresh, free-flowing energy. It's spontaneity. It's surprise. It's whoa, what's a fish doing in the cup? That's pretty exciting. That's interesting. I'm curious. Let's explore that, So this is really... It's beautiful for what we were just talking about with that exploratory energy and just being open to receive more. This guy's just open to kind of whatever's happening here. He's just wow, there's a fish in a cup. That's kind of cool. How do I play with that energy? So given what we were just talking about with the sacred sexuality and just our experience in the world and being more open to receive and being curious, like I was talking about earlier with connecting with the angels, just kind of being curious and open to new experiences and new ideas and new ways of being in the world, new ways of communicating, new ways of connecting, and new ways of relating to our intuition. Again, this is the sacred feminine water element. So it's flowing, it's intuition, it's our unconscious. So a new way to relate to that beautiful energy, a new way to relate to the flow and all that's out here for us, all that's going on in our world. And that really, here's the Hanged Man. This is really giving us a new perspective when we're able to start doing that, start exploring and opening to our world and our experience in a whole new way. We're going to get a whole new perspective, and that's a whole new world. So one thing that, this is such an interesting card. This is the Two of Swords. She's got a blindfold on, and there's balance. There's a lot of water in the background there, and there's a moon. This is a very feminine energy as well, but yet the swords, which are the air sign, and that's a masculine energy. So a lot of, okay, I'm seeing her right now kind of sitting in front of this water, which is the feminine, but she's got her back to it, and she's got these swords. So there's kind of like some duality, but also balance. And she's got this blindfold on. So I'm feeling a balance of the energies in the mind with the feminine energies of the water. Given the context, where are we at odds with ourselves and wanting to force through? You know, where are we at odds with the mind? And it's just kind of got us maybe stuck in not seeing clearly, or what's also coming through is where can we trust the mind? She's kind of at this decision point too, like weighing both this and that, and she's got herself to the back to the emotions, so she's not necessarily, and the moon. So I think this is it. There's just a little bit too much emphasis on the mind. She's not appreciating the water and the moon, which is the feminine behind her, and just a little too in the mind, and too, it's like kind of a dichotomy, you know. There's just this is where the mind can get in the way, and then we can't make any movement, any progress at all, because we're just kind of blind to what's going on, and we've shut down our emotions, and we've shut down our intuition, and we're just, you know, like kind of so that's how I'm reading that right now. Watch when your mind does come in to try to shut you down, and where you can just be at kind of like a crossroads, and not knowing which way to move forward, because you're not taking into account the feminine energies and the intuition and such. And what that leads to when you are able to kind of more master that, I feel like, is the Emperor. And this is really the sacred masculine card, one of them in the deck, but a lot of just really empowered sacred masculine energy here, you know. And this is what we're moving towards, right? The sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. He's just like strong and confident in his power right here, and he's imbued his feminine and his masculine. He's got just a lot of power here. It looks kind of like an ankh there. Yeah, he's in his power. And then again, then we move into the Eight of Swords here, which is the same kind of thing, just kind of wrapped up in the mind, too much in the mind. The swords, again, is that air energy, that mental kind of machinations, like too much. This is on the bottom of the deck. What happens when we don't move through here? We're too in our mind about everything, you know. We're just, and especially in sexual union, you know, with a partner, with ourselves even, you know, we tend to be, when we're self-pleasuring, we're in the mind so much, you know. It's not about really feeling our bodies and exploring our bodies and opening to a much bigger energy. And maybe if you find yourself here and you are already connected with sacred sexuality, you know what I'm talking about, and you know about, you know, bringing it down out of the mind and creating a more, opening to a more cohesive experience, body, mind, and spirit. So yeah, notice when you are too in the mind, and how that is affecting your experience of your body and your sensuality and your connection, you know, and really being in a heart-based place. For me, the masculine is all about like action from a heart-based place. When I'm connecting, instead of just a mental place, you know, I want to move forward. I want to make choices. I want to do everything from my heart, not from my head. And that's where we can really get trapped into, and we can shut down our heart, because we're just like, logically this makes sense, when our heart is saying something different. If we're not accustomed to listening to our heart and coming down into that still place, we just bulldoze through and force an outcome, and it ends up being, you know, kind of shallow and dead and empty. And then we're on to the next thing. We need more to fill that, you know, whatever it is. We're accomplishing more, we're achieving more. There's never really a satisfaction, because it's coming from the mental place. It's not a whole body, mind, spirit experience. When we're fully aligned, it's that Holy Trinity, then we're in satisfaction and nourishment and fulfillment and beauty and joy and connection and union with all that is. When we're just too mental focused and doing everything from this place, you know, then it's a real disconnection from a huge part of our experience, from our spirituality, from our emotional connection or experience, from our physical body. You know, it's just, this is all about coming into balance and harmony and wholeness and union with all aspects of ourselves. How do we integrate all of our parts? So to me, and I feel like that's kind of also speaking to me about this card too. This card always kind of throws me off. It's little, I mean, there's definitely balance going on here, but it's I don't know, there's a disconnect too. And the fact that she's got the blindfold on, she's not seeing, you know, there's something she's not seeing. So what do you need to explore more about yourself? And especially with that intuitive energy that we might be shutting down and not opening to and exploring more. You know, where is that getting in the way of our being curious and exploring and open to fresh new ways of being and fresh new ways of exploring and understanding and experiencing our beautiful world that is so rich with so much going on? We've really kind of shut down a lot of the magic of it when we've been too logical and analytical and needing everything fact-based. You know, magic is all about, it's magic. And it's, you know, when we're too, magic and miracles, you know, when we're too analytical and logical, we really lose touch with a lot of that. So I love our minds. I absolutely do. It's so beautiful. They're amazing, amazing, amazing. But again, it's about balance. It's about balancing the minds with all the other aspects of our gorgeous experience. So that is really, really interesting. And you know, there's something also about this card. This one I keep coming back to. You know, weighing opportunities, weighing experiences when we don't have all the information. She's blindfolded, so she can't actually see everything, and she's trying to balance between this or that and making these decisions without all the information here. Some of her senses are gone. So you know, that's very interesting in this context as well. You know, maybe we are feeling like we need more information to move forward, and maybe, okay, so the blindfold is kind of blind to the intuition, blind to those other senses that make up our whole experience. So yeah, it is. It's just being too in the mind, not taking into consideration all of the elements, all of the factors, like I was just connecting with and talking about. And when we're able to bring in all of ourselves and really connect with all of those aspects of ourselves and connect with those feminine energies in ourselves, you know, the masculine, we both have masculine and feminine. And when we shut down those feminine parts, again, we're shutting down so much. So the mastery, that's when we're standing in this powerful, sacred, masculine energy, is when we have gotten a lot more balance, and when we're taking into consideration all aspects of or many aspects of our experience versus just everything fact-based and logical. So that's when we come into mastery. Yeah, so there's that. And I'm going to, sometimes I don't get to the oracle cards, but we're doing it today, kids. Woo. Okay, let's see what this is The Shaman's Dream again. I really love this deck. It's so lovely, so lovely. Very earth-based wisdom and frequencies, and but also yeah, it's very body, mind, and spirit. It's very lovely. So again, thank you, beautiful cards. Any words of wisdom to support us in our process here, to help us open more to the flow, to intuition, to all that's here to support us so beautifully. Something I was just realizing is like with this card that kind of throws me sometimes. I was in my head like trying to figure out, what does this card mean? What does this card mean to me? What's this card mean? Instead of just like listening, like that's what's coming through. You know, once I did that, more information started coming through. So perfect example of what I'm talking about here. Ouch. Whoa. That was a whole bunch of cards. I really only need one. Let's see what happens here. That was a lot. Okay, I'm going to go with this first one. Well, that looks great too. Okay, this is great. Okay, so we have the wall, obstacles, right? That's what we were just talking about with that that Eight of Swords, you know, and the mental obstacles that get in our way of really tapping in and opening to other aspects. And this is like, we've grown up in this. The obstacles are, it's not just a self-imposed thing. This is like conditioning and limiting beliefs that we've taken on from society and from systems that we've grown up in. And it's just what we've been taught. So those obstacles are, you know, not necessarily of our own making, but it's going to take a lot of conscious effort to change lanes, you know, to change the groove and go in a different direction. So, and then we have here, I've never seen this card, it's beautiful, Root Girl, the disowned self, which again, I feel like that really taps into parts of ourselves that we've disowned and we've shut down because it just hasn't been supported to dive into those elements of ourselves. And then we have Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing, which is exactly what we're talking about right here, right? Working with the timing, opening to divine timing, opening to listening to the messages, not forcing through. So I think I'm going to look at, I don't know about reading all of the okay, the wall, obstacles, being inconvenienced by life, detours, and non-action, which we were just talking about. There are moments in your life when you are so geared up, so sure that you're on track with such drive and momentum that you are shocked and confused when you encounter a wall. This unpredictability occurs outside your ability to plan, regardless of if you've done everything right in alignment with the divine. It's imperative that you change your attitude now. This temporary roadblock is not an obstacle to blast through. We were just talking about this. This is great. This is not an invitation to push harder, cancel other plans, or worry about who will win or lose. I mean, right? You can't make this stuff up. This is a stopping point to enable you to slow down, contemplate the part of the manifesting equation that you and everyone else forgets. Life on life's terms will override your best laid plans. And this is when the struggle really comes in, when we are attached to this outcome and we're forcing it through and not listening to life. And either it does or doesn't happen, but it just isn't fulfilling and satisfying and nourishing in the way that we'd hoped. And that's what we were talking about earlier. And this is especially true with a partner in sacred sexuality. You know, like when we're forcing that thing and then you get to the end and you're like, yeah, you just want more, or something's missing or lacking. You know, it's not that real connection that you're longing for. It's not that deep union, that gorgeous fulfillment and connection, you know. Yes, as inconvenient as it may seem, this experience is an important reminder that you are a human being, not a human doing. Again, being present, still in the moment, that inner stillness. Perhaps you're being reminded of your mortality, or that you are but a small part of a bigger universe where your destiny intersects with others. Again, listening to the divine timing, connecting with other things. You'll be placed at the right place at the right moment. You know, when you're forcing over here, like, I gotta have this, it shuts down all these other opportunities that maybe are meant for you and that would be really nourishing and beautiful for you. And you know, we get hyper focused. So when we can let go, it doesn't mean we have no direction and we're not, you know, moving towards things and we don't have goals, but we're open to receive. We have a direction, but we're open to receive what happens on the path, and we're open to listening. Is this the right time? I'm really, like, everything I'm saying, I'm feeling it in that sacred sexuality experience, you know. Sure, we can be moving towards something, but we're open to experience what comes along and what happens in the moment, and what's, you know, where, like, the overarching theme is connection and union and fulfillment and nourishment. And we go in that direction, and we open to whatever transpires. We open to the energy and the uniqueness of this new experience, you know, and really savoring it and, like, taking it in and seeing what that opens up in us. It opens up things in our experience, in you know, it can be very cosmic and very divine and very there's new experiences our body might have, or our mind might have, when we're just, like, open to flow in a different way, open to connecting in a different way. New parts of ourselves open up, and it just, a whole universe can unfold within us, and just, like, whoa. And that's the divinity of the union, the coming together with another person, and what can happen, and what can happen with just yourself when you're exploring. It's just like, whoa, the energies can open up in a whole different way. It's really powerful, really beautiful. Your life may be meant to serve another purpose at this moment, and your attention meant to be directed elsewhere. And maybe this is speaking to you in a very different way. Maybe this is, like, lighting something up for you, and not to do with sacred sexuality, but maybe you're hearing exactly what you need to hear right now. So open to whatever's coming through for you. If something's lighting up, listen to that. Again, there's that listen and trust, and, like, okay, something's coming through for me right now. What is that? You know, what does that mean? Consider that this place of temporary non-action is exactly meant to be for you. Perhaps it's because all you desire and have set in motion needs time to coalesce into form on the other side. Could it be that all the elements are not yet in place for its manifestation to be for the highest good of all? Patience is required now, and the wisdom that this might be a great time to take a break and contemplate gratitude. What is truly yours will never be walled off from you. This is exactly what I was saying with my own process here of, like, really wanting to share stuff more publicly, and it's just like, no, that's not the right timing yet. You know, you need to wait until things open up, and wait for who knows what, and for how long. I did not know. It turns out it wasn't all that long, but sometimes it's a long time, you know. But you trust, and the more you go along with that, and the more you listen and trust and see what transpires when you do that, the more faith and confidence you have in listening and waiting and being patient. So, Root Girl, I'm going to read this one again. Here's the image. Very interesting, really gorgeous. Root Girl sits shivering, unclean and naked at the base of the tree of the self. She is unloved, unwanted, and shunned for her deformities. She has no home, but is safe burrowing underground to dwell near the deepest roots of the sacred tree. Who is she to you? Could this urchin be the one part of you that, reintegrated, can lead you to wholeness and true purpose? We were just talking about that integration, bringing all parts of ourselves together, all parts, body, mind, and spirit. And that's when we have that real fulfilled experience we long for. This is a part of you, the embodiment of a deeply flawed perception of your failures, manifesting as guilt and shame. That's interesting. When you project envy onto others, or any emotion or instinct that you've learned to repress or deem unnatural, it's this homeless child self crying for attention, acceptance, and love. You want to lash out, ignore it, push it aside, all the while refusing to acknowledge this ugly, quality as belonging to you. Ah, but if you would only look into the root girl's eyes and see the beauty and the unmet need, your unmet need, you would realize that this part of you asks for your compassion and understanding. What part have you been shoving aside and not wanting to face that is really just something that needs to be loved? This part of you was born when you were wounded and were conditioned to believe you're not whole, that your expression of self is somehow too much or too little. You may have even inherited this creature from your ancestors. That's what I was talking about earlier. So a lot of this shit isn't ours. We've taken it on, but now it's like, okay, now what? Now how do we move through this? How do we address these issues and these energies and integrate them and, move forward from a new place. However, it was this child's self came to be curled up at the roots of your sacred tree self. It's time to welcome her into your heart. When you do, everything you've been searching for becomes illuminated and your path lights up with renewed purpose. When you come to love Root Girl and claim her as your own, accepting her in your humanity, she is transformed just as you are, then all manner of magic begins to arrive in abundant form. Look for the beauty. Interesting, beautiful card. Always, always lovely. And 23. Here we are. Beautiful. Luck and right timing. Perfect for today. Absolutely perfect. Luck and right timing, a turn of fortune. The fortune's wheel is a sign that luck has found the right timing in your life. You have the magic touch and everything turns to gold. There is nothing you can do wrong. You only need to hold what you desire as your intention, and it becomes true. Do not waste this power on trifling things. Dream big, for surely this opportune moment will pass. Such is the nature of Fortune's wheel. Use the creative power of the Fortune's wheel for the benefit of others, and the gifts will be returned to you in tenfold. Use it only for your own gain, and you will be left impoverished with the bitter taste of squandered opportunity. Fortune's wheel comes unannounced. Notice the early signs, the coincidental encounters, and the seemingly magical and synchronous events that herald its arrival. That call, that email, that invitation, that chance encounter was no accident. They are all choreographed by Fortune. Do not wait any longer. Carpe diem. Seize the moment. Recall your boldest and noblest longing and invite it into your life. This invitation is all that is required. Again, timing is everything, and the universe knows what it's doing. So those are our cards for the day or for the week. Again, I invite you to explore these themes over the week. Let them settle in. Watch this again. Return to it if you would like to, and really look at how this is showing up for you. How are you being present? How are you being still? How are you opening to more communications from the universe? How are you opening to more experience of your body, mind, and spirit, and integrating the whole? Where are parts of you shut down? Where some of that root girl there, that's been shunned and shamed and not. I know we're taught from a very young age which parts of ourselves are acceptable and which are not, and we've pushed a lot of them down, and that's part of this disconnect and why we're so in certain aspects of ourselves celebrating those and honoring those and not the others. So let's bring those pieces and parts of ourselves and try to bring them in and open to just a more unified, whole, integrated experience. And there's many ways to do that, and I'm here to support you for sure. If you want to start deep diving more into this and deep diving into sacred sexuality, to your spiritual path, I have a number of beautiful one-on-one sessions and energy healing sessions, sacred sexuality sessions, energy healing sessions, spiritual guidance sessions. I offer programs. I have a gorgeous 12-week program that's going to be starting in the next cohort is in June, and we'll be really deep diving into all of this, integrating body, mind, and spirit, bringing wholeness and balance, and seeing where we've been out of balance, and bringing those, patterns, unconscious patterns of body, speech, and mind up to the conscious so we can look at them and release them. And this isn't like a talk therapy thing. It's not it's more experiential. There's working with the energy body a lot. There's an energy healing session each week to really clear it all out. So if you're not familiar with energy healing, I invite you to check out a video recently called Deepening Connection, where I explain a little bit about energy healing and how that supports us in our sacred sexuality journey and just our whole spiritual growth and ascension process, our evolution, our human evolution. So I invite you to check out my website. All the links are down below for a lot of detail on that program. And I'll be having some more videos about that here shortly. And then, of course, we have our beautiful Tantric Sacred Sexuality pilgrimage to India in November, when you're ready to really dive into the sacred feminine and sacred masculine balance and union, and connecting with a really powerful spiritual energy in India. And we'll be visiting a lot of temples, doing ritual, doing sacred sexuality ritual, really getting into our bodies, really opening to the beautiful energy. It's a very sensual experience. It's going to be really sense-based. All of our senses really opening to them. India is a gorgeous, vibrant, very powerful place to be, and really supportive of the spiritual path. There's just a different energy there that really helps us to open and go deeper. And it's hard to explain, but it's an energy that it's just unlike any other, and it's just something that has to be experienced. It's not the same here in America or wherever you might be. There's something magical going on there, and it just moves us along in our spiritual growth and our spiritual path in such a powerful, transformative way. This is going to be a game changer for sure for you. Again, check out my website for so much more details on that, and stay tuned for more information. And if you want to learn more about that, connect with me through that website, and we'll do a little discussion, and I can share a lot more and see if this is the right next step for you, because it's not the right next step for everybody. This is not a one size fits all, nor are my programs. This is very, when you're ready for it, this is some level up stuff. This is some more intensive, more powerful, like, we're not fucking around here kind of stuff. I am not the kind of foofy, woo-woo type of person on the spiritual path. No judgment there. That's just not my style. I'm like, let's get in there. Let's clear the crap out that's not serving us, so that we can start really enjoying our life and living the life of our dreams, and having those powerful, beautiful, loving connections that we long for with ourselves first, and then with our partner, then with another. We're drawing in exactly a mirror reflection of what we need to work on ourselves. So if your relationships are challenged, if your experiences around you are a lot of challenge, then that's showing you where the work is, right? And so let's elevate out of those lower vibe frequencies, more fear-based experiences, up into more joy, love, creativity, inspiration, and we do that through clearing out the energy, those low vibe frequencies. Everything here is energy. Simple physics, like attracts like. A certain vibration, you're going to attract that vibration. When you change that vibration, you're going to attract that vibration. It's really that simple. Not necessarily easy, but simple. And it is, again, that's the physics. There's the logic, right? That's just fact. So yeah, let's get into this when you're ready. Check out my website. There's so much going on there. Check out all the videos. Please follow me on Instagram. I offer beautiful sensual dance over there, the daily dance dose, and a lot of other content. There's so much going on there, and it's just been a real fun place to share with you. So thank you so much for being here, and welcome to my new public channel. If all goes well, I'm going to do some ritual around that this evening, and connect with Saturn. I think he's really about timing, and I feel his hand in some of what's going on right now. So I'm going to connect with my guides, connect with the planets, and just set a lot of intention about moving forward in a bigger, more public way. So thank you so much for being here. And again, reach out when you're ready to kick this into gear and take it to the next level. I am so here for you. Wishing you much love on your journey. Bye all.